Welcome everybody to our podcast, Nucks and Pucks. We're your hosts, Sukman.
Grisevic.
And I'm Grbaj, and basically Nucks and Pucks is our hobby podcast. We'll be talking a little bit about the Canucks, a little bit about what's happening around the NHL, once in a while sprinkle in some other sports, like football, baseball, whatever else we know. But majority we're just going to focus on the Canucks. And stepping right into it, what do you guys think about the Canucks and Predators game?
It was a good win. 5-2 against a team that was on a real hot streak. In the Nashville Predators, I think they won 7 of their last 10 games?
Yeah, I think 13 of their last 16 or something?
Yeah, they've been on a heater, so it's good. We went into Nashville and dominated them. So it's always good to see that because we haven't seen that in years past. So positives.
I think one of the biggest things that I kind of saw was, you know how the first month of the season this year the Canucks would only win if Quinn, Petey, Miller, Brock, Hronek got points. And now you see this game, you have Suter getting a goal, Bluger getting a goal, Hoglander getting a goal, Niels Aman getting a goal,
Oman, whatever.
For us, it's Aman.
It's Aman for us, man.
You got him getting a goal. The only big guy that kind of got a goal was Petey and Hoglander. If you put him in that category,
Speaking of Hoglander, I said at the beginning of the year he was gonna have a breakout year, and I'm so happy that I'm right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think with that we kind of owe it to the management because speaking of, right, this organization hasn't had a lot of homegrown talent, and I think he's that first example of someone like that. I remember last year going down to Abbey during the playoffs and watching this guy, he was all over the ice. You could tell he was present. He was dominating. And to kind of see him start there and now shift over to the NHL, it's been really nice to see.
Yeah, Petey and Brock and Quinn, they all came out of college and Sweden. Nobody actually came through the system. Yeah. So it's nice to see that we can actually develop players. And even everybody else down there right now is still doing really good.
I think if you put it this way, who's the last Canucks top 6 forward that they developed? They actually developed, didn't just come into the lineup and start dominating. You put Petey,
I can't think of
Petey, Besser, they just came in.
But they're not
they were Calder level guys.
They were developed in the NHL.
Yeah.
We're trying to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's not really an example in recent times. You could kind of say Bo in a way. He spent 1 or 2 years in junior after getting drafted. Then he kind of worked from the 4th line, 3rd line, 2nd line. But from the AHL, I think you have to go back to the 2011 times. Yeah, with Kessler, Burrows coming up from the AHL, spending their time there, and then coming up.
Yeah.
That's the big thing about having an actual system where you have Jeremy Colleton down in Abbotsford, where they're able to have the same identity throughout, where it's you love Bruce. You don't hate Bruce as a guy.
No chance.
You don't hate him.
One of the best guys in the league.
But at the same time, it felt like there wasn't really accountability with the Canucks back then.
Now it was more vibes and just going out there, doing what you want and just have a good time. And now it's different.
Yeah, and to add to that, I feel like as fans, it's nice having that security, knowing that we have that depth there now, right? And especially with guys like Podkolzin per se, right? He struggled a little bit here up in the big leagues, right? And he went down. He did well. Got that injury, came back, and he's doing well again, right? So with a guy like him who had so much upside, right, and has always been known for that upside, it's kind of exciting to see whether or not he will pan out.
And I think it was Rutherford that said they're not going to rush him. He probably could come up right now, but there's no point because the lineup's playing so well. And I think that's the best thing for his confidence for 100%.
And I think kind of adding to that, I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it right now. I saw this thing that Zadorov was talking about, how right when he came into the Canucks locker room, he saw a sense of the culture here, where right from management, coaches, players, just the way everybody sort of conducts themselves. I don't know if you guys saw the Talkett was talking about how the players, he overheard them saying yo, we really need to get a better start going on. I feel like there's that accountability. It's not just like, hey, I'll go out there, I'll play creatively. I won't really care about the defensive side, but I'll put up points.
Like nobody's going out there be like, oh, I just want to make sure that you put up your own stats, your own, make yourself look good. Everybody's going out there playing for each other, and like before, no, but like from what 2016 to last year, nobody did that. Everybody's just playing for a contract.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing for the team, and that's a huge difference always in any team, any sport.
Yeah. No, I think it's the start of like what makes a contender, right? If you want to win on that level, guys got to actually want it. It can't be about themselves. It has to be about the system, right? About each other. And what I really love about this team is that it started so early, right? Prior to training camp, guys coming in early, right? Player organized practices, all that stuff. From the get-go, they were about it, right? They wanted to win and they let it know to the world that that's what they want. And it's translating well, right? And what I really, really like is that they're not settling, right? That chip that was there at the start of the season, it's still there, right? And they're still locked in and they're still focused. And I think that's kind of what's setting them apart from everyone right now.
And I think that's just the sign of a championship caliber team. Obviously, I think the Canucks are still one or two pieces away from that, but it's the beginning of that. If you look at Devon Toews, just I think it was yesterday or the day before, he made a statement where he was like, there's some guys on our team that think they're playing better than they actually are. It's about holding yourself accountable. Before, that wasn't really here, and you see the clear shift in the change of the culture, everything, right from management. Obviously, at times last year too, we all thought like, okay, what's kind of going on with the Bruce situation, Talkett coming in, but for the most part, I'd say, other than a couple hiccups, but those are kind of hindsight's 2020, management group has done really well this year. And even last year.
Yeah, going on to last year, like there's so much talk around the team. It was Bo, it was management, it was everything, right? Even like the Bruce conversation was lingering around the whole year, and nobody was really focused. Obviously, they had their run at the end of the year, like they always did, and ultimately ruined their draft position. But whatever, it was fine. Most fans are like, maybe they can take that momentum into next year. Usually, I'm like, that's a bunch of
BS.
baloney. Yeah.
BS.
But this year they've actually done that, so I am proven wrong.
I think last couple of years we got lucky with our last bit of our schedule being a bit easier, but this year I feel like people do argue that our schedule is easier. It has been easy to start off with, but I still see like games like the Nashville game, for example, a team that's red hot, and you go in there, you take your backup. Your backup is starting against a super hot team, and their starter, Nashville starter UC Saros, gets pulled from the game.
And he was going down the tunnel. He was so mad.
He was fuming. Yeah.
I got him on my hockey fantasy team, so it wasn't great for me, but whatever. But like also like last year or any year before this, it's like we start on the road 6-7 games.
Yeah.
Right? This year it's more balanced. I wouldn't say the schedule is much easier.
No.
But it's definitely more balanced.
I would still say though, like think about it, right? After the first game, we went to Edmonton, then we went to I think Calgary or something. Then there's that whole Eastern wave where we went to like Philadelphia, other teams. I still think that still exists. It kind of feels like every year. I think it was like 2 years ago we played Philadelphia starting off. Like it's just we do go on that Eastern road trip like right away.
On the shorter trips. Usually. Like we're not on the road for 7 games to start the year.
Yeah.
When you're starting the year that many games on the road, it's hard to catch up because you want to play in front of your fans to start.
But at the same time, don't you think it kind of helps the players gel with each other? Because when you have a lot of new additions, you could make that argument where when players go on the road, they have to, only people they can spend time with is each other. Kind of helps them in that sense where they're able to come together as a team. But I think with this team, the core has been together for quite some time, so they really haven't had that as an issue. Yeah. I feel like the whole issue was like just that motivation. When you already have a player that's great, being able to elevate that to like all-time great level, like with Quinn, he's a great defenseman. The way he's been playing now, he's pushing himself into the all-time great category. Like, it was always like he has the potential to be an all-time.
Maybe not all time like NHL wise, but Canucks wise,
I mean,
100%.
I would say, I would.
No, I'm just saying he probably will get there, but not yet.
I'd say he's put himself up there just because, like, up until Cale Makar, he was the fastest defenseman ever to 200 assists.
Exactly.
Ever. That's including Bobby Orr, all those guys. So I think he is. Obviously, his career isn't super long yet, but he still needs to win some individual trophies, team trophies. But despite that, I feel like the way he's played, he's special.
Speaking on guys kind of leveling out their game and taking that next step, wanted to bring up Brock Besser and that turnaround he's had this year. Right, guy went from scoring I think 34 in his rookie year, and then never even getting
29.
29?
He's never hit 30.
29.
He'd never hit 30. It's always injuries.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 29 in that first year, and then never even getting close to 30 again, right? And we all know what he went through, right? Tough time, and we were at a point last year where his agent was given the permission to ask for trades. It looked like it was almost a guarantee that he was headed out, and then he took it upon himself to kind of make that change with that trainer this summer, and he is looking like a complete different player. He's currently on pace for somewhat near anywhere 55 to 60 goals, right? He's 12th in the league in points, which I feel like that is going very, very unnoticed, right? He is a huge part of this team that I feel like needs a little bit more recognition.
I feel like with him, I'd say one thing. With him, like, I wouldn't say he lost his shot, but him losing that, like, goal-scoring ability for a few years, where he was he's still around 20 goals, but we know the level his potential was at, especially from that rookie year. With him not having that in his arsenal of weapons, I feel like it made him, he had to focus on other areas of the game, whether it's the defensive side, a complete 200-foot game, everything, and then that's why I feel like the thing with his and Miller's line that's been quite good is the amount they get in on the forecheck, and they know where to be. That's one thing I'd say even for the Canucks in general. A lot of the goals just come from the Canucks just getting the puck from the other team. They dump it in or whatever, but they just find a way. Whether it's F1, like Hoglander, there's so many of those where he just gets the puck. He's speedy, he gets in, he gets his nose dirty, he gets the puck, and then just gets it to either Besser or somebody, and then Miller is coming in as well. And there's been so many goals that just get scored like that. I feel like it's about reading the game, and if from Talkett's comments, he says that Brock is like a full student of the game, and he didn't really expect that. And to be honest, I wouldn't expect that either. Just how it is. But seeing that he actually put so much effort, I feel like that kind of helped him round out his game rather than being a one-dimensional player.
Yeah. On the topic of Besser, do you think he secures that Rocket this year, or do you think he gets edged out maybe by Matthews?
I think he'll get edged out.
Yeah, I got him finishing up there, but I think he'll round out around 50.
I'll be more than happy if he finishes. What's he at? What, 24 right now?
23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're like 30 something games in.
Got roughly like 50.
So if he gets to 45, I think that'd be more than good enough.
Who's the last guy in the Canucks that scored 45 goals?
Coming into the year, I didn't think he would ever hit 30 again. So it's like crazy to me.
At least you're being honest.
But like, no, like, you know, it's weird with Brock, man. It's weird because like he lost his dad, and then he had all the fans were against him. I think the trade request, so to speak, was more of him thinking that was like the only option because he thought I feel
like he never asked for that. If you see any of his interviews, he just thought it was like he
took it upon himself to think that people wanted him out.
He always said he's like, it doesn't matter to me. I want to be a Canuck. It's like I just want to be here. Like everybody knows how much he loves the city, everything. He just wants to be.
You know how reactionary the fan base is, right?
Oh yeah.
So like,
I mean, I'd say a parallel to that situation. Brock's not playing well. The fans go completely against him after him being an amazing, seeming like a blue chip prospect coming out of college. Now you have Kuzmenko. Kind of similar situation where obviously last year he was scoring at an insane clip. What? 25% shooting percentage or something crazy like
27.
that. Something crazy like that. And then almost 40 goals, 39 goals. And now all of a sudden this year, his shooting percentage comes a little under average. And now all the fans just want him gone. And everybody is like, no, we should sell low on Kuzmenko. I feel like that's one thing where the fan base or whatever I feel like whenever a player's value is low, we think that we can just get rid of him and get a blue chip thing in return, which that's not happening.
You trade him now for pennies on the dollar. Like,
Yeah.
well, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But also, the coaching, like, what's it called? Oh my God, what am I saying?
I'll pick up.
Scratching.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about that.
Getting that's not gonna help either. Like, I get it, Talkit doesn't want him in the lineup because he doesn't do what he wants him to do. But if you are thinking of trading him, you gotta keep him in the lineup.
And just even like in terms of like helping the guy get back on track, like I think we all know that Myers isn't always the biggest fan favorite, right? Because of the mishaps he has on the ice sometimes. But I feel like
Most of the time.
yeah, he's been given a lot of leniency, right? And with a guy like Kuzmenko, right, who's lacking that confidence, and he kind of needs that confidence too to kind of get back to where he was, is scratching him more productive?
I would
Never is.
I would kind of go against that with you comparing the Myers situation. With Myers, yeah, when he
Yeah, I
plays
wouldn't, yeah.
when he plays a little more like than he should be, he obviously makes mistakes. But now with Zadorov coming over, the Canucks have been 7-1-1. With him taking a more sheltered role, he doesn't have to play as
Third
much
pair playing
as
18 minutes a game,
as much as he
20
needed to
minutes a game.
before. And the thing is, with defensemen, who's our replacement? You're gonna put Mark Friedman over Tyler Myers? As much as Mark Friedman, you can't rely on him to give you 20 minutes or Juleson to up his level to play more minutes. It's about replacement. With Kuzmenko, we're putting up goals. That's the fact. The Canucks are leading the league in goals, everything. That's not an issue. It's about the complete game. And then when you see the Predators game, Kuzmenko's on the lineup. They had no trouble scoring 5 goals. They scored 5 goals, had 30-something shots. You put in a guy like PDG. You have him on the 4th line, 3rd line, because that's where Kuzmenko was already. And that kind of solidifies your game where you have that extra penalty killer. Whereas Kuzmenko, okay, if he's playing like however much he is, he's on the power play too. The power play's not hot either.
Yeah.
The power play is dead cold.
Yeah.
So I feel like at some point you have to look at the bigger picture for the team. On offense, obviously, there's a lot of weapons that the Canucks already have. So with Kuzmenko, I feel like at times, fans and management, I would say last year, that was one sort of mess up they had, where you're signing a guy that has a 27% shooting percentage. You should kind of ease into it, especially with Talkit just starting his tenure at that point. But now he's coming down to 14.6% as a shooting percentage for this year. That's a little more normal, like around the mean. With that, this is more, I don't think this is still the Kuzmenko that we see that he is, but at the same time, he wasn't going to be always shooting at 27%. He wasn't. And I feel like that the same thing comes in for Besser. His shooting percentage is up there too right now. As much as, yeah, I'm not trying to hate on like such a crazy story because I love it. I love him scoring so much. But his shooting percentage this year is 24%.
But would you say, because Brock, a lot of his goals have just been right around the crease. Like, would you say it's more luck, or is it just getting to the right areas?
But that was the same thing as Kuzmenko last year. A lot of his goals were either tip-ins or just those easy tap-ins. So I kind of see that parallel there, where it's like,
Don't get me wrong, Brock has scored some like
Nice
goals
ones.
where he's like, oh, he's back.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen much of that from Kuzmenko yet.
Okay, but what do you guys see as the sort of solution to this Kuzmenko situation? Because do you think that, okay, tomorrow there's a game against Dallas. Do you think he's going to be in the lineup?
No.
I don't think so, especially with their
Not
success
after we
against
scored
Predators.
5 goals and we played very well.
Oh yeah, it makes no sense to make a change. You're dominating, like it's working. Keep it going. But at the same time, like I said before, like I think Kuz is a guy that needs that little room for error, right? And I just don't think the Canucks have that room to give. So I kind of see them down the line maybe moving on from him, right? Because I don't see him bouncing back until he gets it. And right now, I
He's
just don't
one
think.
guy that if you were to move on from him, I mean, obviously other teams probably still value him, but like, say if you wanted to make a big splash, right? He would obviously be a key piece in a team moving a goal scorer. They get a goal scorer back. Obviously, the guy lacks in other areas, but you're still getting goal scoring. And it's like a team like, I don't know, just any team that needs goal scoring
Would
and is
you,
willing to give up.
if you were to trade Kuzmenko, would you trade him for goal scoring or defensive help? I go
I am
defense.
trading him for a right-handed D-man.
Yeah, that'd be the
Or
goal.
right-sided D-man.
I don't think we get a top 4.
I don't see that. No, I don't.
I'd trade him for Tanev and a pick.
How late would you go with the pick, or how early? My bad.
But then
Oh,
you're just
like a
adding so
third,
much
fourth?
money to yourself. You have to re-sign Tanev too. You have Zadorov coming
You
up.
don't have to re-sign Tanev. You can find
But then
somebody
what's
just like him.
what's the point of trading Kuzmenko for a
You
rental?
save cap space.
Yeah, but like, so
And you're not really losing much, as we've seen. We've just been talking about that. You're not really losing much, and you're for now. For
but
this
do you
year,
think this Kuzmenko is going to be the player he is for the future?
probably not. He'll probably
So then you do lose out on that.
Eventually,
don't you?
he's gonna learn the other areas of his game.
But that's what I'm
locked in
talking about. With
this
the
year, he's
guy,
locked in
you
next
can't
year.
teach goal scoring. You can't.
No, you can't. Obviously not.
Having a guy that's capable of putting up 30, 40 goals, obviously it might take some time for him, some tough love. But that's the same thing as like the Canucks should have just moved
Somebody's
on.
got to get moved. Is all I'm saying.
That's the same thing as saying the Canucks should have just moved on from Hoglander back after his like second year when he had the sophomore.
Yeah,
slump.
but they're completely different. He's 27. Hoglander's 23.
I understand that, but with the way Kuzmenko, this is his second year in the NHL. There is some regression where obviously he comes in, other teams don't know him as much. Now they sort of start to get like, okay, this is what he's gonna do. Like his spin moves, I think everybody kind of knows what he's gonna be doing there. So I feel like it's a really tricky situation.
He's still a power play weapon, though.
Yeah.
Like any team that needs to improve their power play, he's the guy.
I think he needs to shoot more.
He definitely does.
needs
He
to
hasn't
shoot
shot as much this year. His shooting percentage is down.
Even
But
last year,
a lot of his regression is confidence.
even last year, a lot of his he didn't take a lot of shots. I feel like that's just the type of player he is.
He took good shots.
But he needs to be a volume shooter. You have a shot like that. You
And his
have
hand
to
eye
take
was
shots.
very good too.
You have to take shots. But I think sort of going from that with Kuzmenko, obviously the cap, we're talking about like a possible trade. The Canucks there's going to be a lot of salary cap stuff that's going to be going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got UFAs, Lafferty, Bluger, Ian Cole, Zadorov, Myers, DeSmith, and then you still have Petey and Hronik to sign as RFAs.
And we have 32.5 million roughly. Yeah. Obviously, that'll change if we trade somebody.
Big chunk of it's gonna go to just PD Hronik.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say anywhere in between like 17.5 to like 20. Right?
Yeah.
20,
Yeah,
20
like
18,
11 and 7.5.
Yeah.
8.
So like 20.
I saw Saravelli saying this. He says, "Don't be surprised. The number's going to be
he said
8."
that at the beginning of the year.
No, he said that now too. He's like, "I'm
No,
telling
he's
you."
he's just reiterating his
and he's
statement.
saying, and he's keeping the receipts for that. That it's going to be 8. Whether
is
he
gonna
gets
be
it in
8.
Vancouver or not, it's going to be at least 8.
And like, he has no reason, like he has no emotional ties here yet.
And I mean, with him, obviously he's getting a lot of points, but his advanced stats aren't as good. I feel like the eye test in the starting
He plays great defense.
starting bit of the season, I feel like he was amazing. The last
very
little bit,
under the
I feel like
radar.
his defense has taken a little bit of a hit. You see him getting beat a little more often. I feel like that
Everybody has a bad stretch.
Yeah.
But overall, he's been our best defensive defenseman.
I'd agree. And he's up there.
Who's been better? Quinn, maybe?
If you have the puck on your stick all the time, you don't really got to play defense.
That's true. I mean, but Hronik's up there too, eh? Like, what's he, like, second on assists in the team, I believe.
He's up there with defenseman points.
Oh, yeah, he's right behind. I think we got Quinn at 1, obviously. But I think he's just around 6 or 7 right behind Hedman. So
He's tied with Hedman at 5th, 29
no,
points.
5th, there you go. So yeah, he might not be getting the puck on his stick as much, but he's still producing. And then he's playing both ends, right? So that contract starting with 8 makes all the sense in the world. And with PD, like, obviously, like, we all know that he's not 100%, but he's still producing. He's back up there in the league lead. I think he's in the top 10 again.
I don't see a world where PD doesn't re-sign with the Canucks. I feel like it's
There's
gonna
no
happen.
chance in the world that Alvin lets that happen.
He's gonna sign here.
Guy's basically building a Swedish
Here's
team.
the question, though: does he sign term, or does he go?
He's at the point in his career where he has to go term.
I give him 8 years.
8 years at like
11 and a half.
Yeah, I do.
Call it a day.
I do that.
Cap going up next year, 4 to 6 million.
Yeah.
Going up again later.
Yeah.
You don't lose those type of players.
I feel like 11 and a half is a surefire thing, man. Like, you might even have to be worrying about like 12 and a half.
It could be, but I'd put that offer once that offer's in paper. You never know what's gonna happen. But my stress is, I feel like the PD Heronic stuff will figure itself out. My stress is the UFAs.
Yeah.
Guys like Lafferty. I love Lafferty. I love watching him play.
1 point something right now.
Yeah.
And
3 and 4.
There's no way he gets
three,
more than 3.
3 minimum.
3 minimum.
The way he's playing right now.
There's no way he gets less than 3. Then you got Bluger
The
too. Bluger's playing
only
good.
argument that management would have is it's just 1 year.
Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, there's going to be 31 other teams willing to give him money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Like
Toronto.
any team like with a just trying to meet the cap floor.
If Ryan Reeves gets 1.5 million or whatever it is, Lafferty deserves it.
like Chicago, they got to meet the cap floor. They might have to just give him like.
He came
3
from
mil.
Chicago.
What do you guys think about Zadorov? What's the situation gonna be with him? Like
He's gonna get 6 minimum.
6?
Yeah.
No way.
Why not? He's that's. I feel like that's average
6
for a
is
mid-level defenseman.
6 is insane. What mid-level defenseman's getting 6? Okay, Myers did, but that's betting him against himself. Or negotiating him against himself.
Man, I don't have the facts for you right now, but like I'm sure there's undeserving people making 6.
Okay, well,
what do you think? 5.5, 4?
5.5, 5.
He's at what? Almost just 4 right now. 3.75.
Yeah.
So
5.5.
5.5. Yeah, I think 5.5.
If a team gives him 6 years times 6 million, that team's insane, and that better not be the Canucks.
Yeah.
The team better not be the Canucks.
I mean, he fits in with the system well, but yeah, I agree. Like 6 is a little bit much, but I think he was mentioning.
I just swear I saw somewhere that somebody said he's probably gonna get 6. But it's Twitter, man. It's just
a guy that's playing 17, 18 minutes a game. If he gets 6 million as a defenseman,
better be scoring 20 goals or something.
Not 20 goals, but at least like you should be putting up like 35, 40 points.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not all about points.
It isn't, but if you're not playing much either.
Yeah.
Either you're taking up the minutes or you're putting up points. Or you're doing both and you're Quinn Hughes.
But yeah, no, I think priority-wise, after PD and Heronic, I think him and then
the decor.
A lot of these guys are replaceable. Like Ian Cole, Bluger, they're replaceable.
But
Myers,
it's hard.
100%.
It's hard to find players like that for cheap again.
No, they're just gonna do what they've been doing. Just trade late round picks and find guys like that.
And I think I trust management to do it.
And at the same time, I'm not mad at that.
It's not easy to always expect on paper that you just keep getting new guys in every year and expect them to just keep
obviously some of them won't work out, but you also don't want to overpay for a 4th liner or 3rd liner.
Exactly. And like kind of commenting on what Grabaj had to say here. I think good teams with good managements, like they will find those guys. Like if you look at like teams like Tampa,
if you have good scouting, you'll find them.
Exactly, like Tampa, Colorado. Like after their championship runs, a lot of those bottom line guys got their contracts, right?
They got their contracts, and then Tampa is not winning anymore.
One name
that's still up there.
Right? They're not really up there. They're not the same Tampa at all.
Yeah, they're older now.
Yeah, but hey, after that first championship during the bubble, I believe. They lost a few guys after that season.
They're 15, 13, and 5. Not the best.
Not
yeah,
the
but
best.
we're not talking about like right now Tampa. We're talking about Stanley Cup back-to-back Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at those times, they still had guys like, I think Blake Coleman, the first year, they had him for 2 years. So they still had those guys there. And then after the second year is when they sort of had to take a huge hit. And
Oh yeah,
where
the
a bunch
second
of
year,
guys-
yeah, that's where they lost like Goudreau and all those guys.
I think,
Practically their whole third line
yeah.
was gone.
What was it? Palat, I think, too? Or
Yeah.
what's his Killorn? I think this
Killorn.
past year.
Warren
they
was the one, yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Like it's not easy. Like you can't just snap your fingers.
It's not easy. It might not
And
work.
even adding another guy, they completely missed on this. Dakota Joshua, he needs a new contract. That bottom six has been the Canucks' sort of savior for the last bit after their cold stretch for a little bit in November.
Yeah.
And now you have a risk of just losing practically a lot of it. And then
Dakota Joshua, you're losing size, but you can find somebody in the AHL that replaces him.
it's hard to have that whole mixture of what Joshua brings to you. Joshua, Lafferty are the type of... Okay, Bluger, I'd say... Okay, you might be able to find another guy that's similar. Lafferty and Joshua are the two guys where they make your bottom six that much better.
It's hard to find somebody with Lafferty's speed. And the way that he's pretty good at... he's a pretty good puck handler, too.
Yeah, and he goes right to the net. He doesn't care.
I would just go off on a limb here.
Like, Pod Colson could be that guy. He's not that fast.
I was going to say, even the AHL, you got Baines. You hope McDonough
I
takes a
feel like
step.
Baines could be a Bluger. Like, but they're not the
Linus
same
Karlsson.
position, but you know what I mean.
Linus Carlson, possibly.
Ratu.
Yeah. Apparently
That's a big one.
he's taking steps.
That's a big one. He needs to, like, he doesn't need to pan out, but, like, we should hope he pans out.
That would be nice. But yeah, reiterating my point, I was gonna say, going on a limb here, with all these contracts coming to an end and us having to kind of resign them, with the position that we're in, we set second in the league right now, within 1 point of Vegas, right?
A lot of teams have games in hand, but we're not going to focus on
Hey
that
man,
enough.
points are points, right? Percentage is all speculation. They still have to go get those points.
Even points percentage, we're fourth in the league.
Yeah, exactly. And like with those teams, like I know
We're
LA,
higher than LA now.
yeah, but
Take that,
After
Drance.
Nashville. Hey, what?
Take that, Drance.
but yeah,
Why are you
no,
looking at me when you say that, man?
Because you're a hater.
but yeah, like
We'll let the audience decide if I've been a
You're-
hater so far.
We're contenders. You think they're pretenders.
I was, yeah,
Have I
with that
said
point.
so far? Have I said that? Oh, come on, man.
You said it off camera a lot.
I said,
keep it simple here.
I said, give me 25 games and I'll decide. Right now, I'm leaning.
You're leaning, so
towards-
you still can't make a decision. So what are you going to be? Now
Later.
give me till the end of the year and I'll decide if the
I
Canucks are playoff
still
team.
don't know, man. It's hard.
But yeah, what I was trying to say, like with the position we're in right
Got
now,
smacked by Vegas.
Yeah, we
like,
just keep cutting off Suckman.
yeah,
sorry,
it'd be
man.
nice if you can let me speak. Right? I've tried to make the same point 3 times now, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We're supposed to bully Gerst in this podcast.
Well, with all the contracts coming to an end, right, and with the position we're in right now, like, call me crazy, but like, we could end up winning that President's Trophy this year, right? What
You're
I'm
crazy.
calling you crazy.
You're crazy.
Respectfully, man.
But what move do they make? Like, what big splash do you go after at the deadline to kind of bolster this team up and make a run at that cup if you need to, right? Because yeah, like they could figure out the cap situation next year, let some guys go, bring new guys in, right? But right now you have what you have, and it's working, and it's at the top of the league, right? So what do you do to kind of bolster that up and take your best shot at winning that cup, right? Like, especially with a team like Vegas in front of you, right? Because I feel like from 1 to 12 with their forwards, they line up much better than us. So what do we have to do to kind of, get on that same level?
What you pray for, I'd say, is you find another Hronek. You find another
So
Hronek.
you go on the defensive end.
You try finding another Hronek.
Yeah.
Because as much as we talk about the decor being so much better this year,
Yeah.
It's still
half of it's gone at the end of the year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Zadorov, Myers, Cole, Hronek needs a contract. The only guys that are signed are Susie and Hughes for next year. Hronek, yeah, I expect him back, but still, like half your decor is right there where you don't know what's going to be happening. I'd say you try finding a defenseman, but the thing I was kind of
who's even available right now?
Brett Pesci, maybe.
Maybe.
if
But
you
I
if you
don't.
if you go all in and you're willing to give up maybe a prospect or two, Rasmus Anderson.
Yeah, Calgary's in. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what direction Calgary wants to go in.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
direction they should go in is not the direction that they probably will go in
Anderson
because
still
of
has.
their management and like probably ownership too. But they should have rebuilt at the end of last year, but they haven't. So
I feel like it's hard when you've given those massive contracts to
it's hard to
Huberdeau
move those contracts,
and
but you're gonna
Uyghur.
have to give sweeteners and just rebuild.
what do you guys think management does though? Like obviously we've talked about what we would do. Because management's expressed like multiple times they want another top six guy, right? So on the basis of that, if they are gonna go get a top six guy, who do they go after, and what are you giving up to go get?
Jake Gensel.
I've seen that. That's an intriguing name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Pittsburgh would do it. I still think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's the one I want.
yeah. Oh, what do you
I
trying
have
to
no
do?
idea what I would give up. I'd probably give up a first.
Do you try to throw Kuzmenko in that trade?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to just
You
make the
have
money
to throw
work.
Kuzma.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work
But-
cap wise if
But
you
the
didn't.
only thing I have against that is you have to sign Gensel to a contract at the end of the
Oh
year.
my god, not again.
Yeah, that's right.
And the way I kind of see it is the Canucks right now.
And he's getting way more than Kuzmenko
In
is
what
getting.
in 2 years the OEL deal takes a big hit, like 4 million, 4.5 or so. That's the year I feel like you need a target where you have a lot of young guys coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, do you think the Canucks have enough confidence in their amateur scouting where they're like, you know what, let's keep the pick, find a guy that can come into our lineup in 2 to 3 years.
Leckermacki.
Leckermacki, I'd say, okay, 2 to 3 years. That's different.
He's in the AHL next year.
He,
Depending on how he does in
I say
there,
you put
he
him in the
could be.
training camp, and then after that, you see how he is. Wheelander, I think, still needs a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll need next
far
year for
away.
sure. And then
100%.
maybe the year after he comes over or whatever, we'll see. Bristowitz, hope I said that right.
Yeah.
He'll probably be, I'd say next year he still needs to go back there or the AHL, whatever it is. And then
Yeah, a
take
lot
at
of
least
these
2
guys
years.
are 2 years away at minimum.
But having that another piece where you're confident that you can bring on an ELC, I feel like that's the difference maker.
But
Where you-
those guys being 2 years away is perfect.
Having another guy there, I think it's perfect there.
I don't know. I think to an extent there will be that thought of like we need to go for it. Like it's not
So like,
urgent.
if you want to win with these guys, you gotta do this.
Yeah, it's not urgent, and I feel like it's also a nice way to reward the players for how they've been playing. So I do think, just my own belief, it might not happen, but I think that pick gets moved this year. I think they go after
I
someone.
think it gets,
Yeah.
I think it gets moved. But
Personally,
I don't want it to
I from my thing, I kind of wanted it moved.
Yeah,
But listen to Rutherford and how much he stresses that in 2 years that OEL deal, the buyout situation, and how the need for like having younger guys come up the system. I feel like they keep that in their pocket because as much as Leckermacki and Wheelander are there, you have no guarantees how they're gonna end up.
Mm-hmm.
And the rewarding players feel like I like that. I feel like last year rewarding, whether it was rewarding players or just picking up a great player in Hronik, was amazing. But at the same time, you don't want to end up in a Connor Garland and OEL situation where you could have had Dylan Gunther in your lineup.
Yeah.
But now you have Connor Garland who, yeah, he's making plays, but for $5 million, you'd kind of expect a little more production out of that player.
12 points,
Yeah.
2 goals, not good enough.
interesting enough, like with the way he's been playing recently, you think maybe Canucks step back from Kuzmenko for a little bit and maybe make Garland the focal point of a trade. Maybe he has a little bit more value.
Well, I thought that coming into the year, I thought Beauvillier and Garland gone,
Yeah,
100%.
Mhm.
But I don't know. He wanted to be gone. He requested a trade, did he not?
But recently, he's been playing good. He's been playing some good hockey. Him and Joshua on that third line.
Yeah, that line's been
Him,
playing
Joshua,
very good.
Bluger. If you see Garland, dude, he just gets the puck. He's tenacious on it.
Yeah.
keeps it well, makes the right reads. He's,
But at the same time, yeah, if he was making $3 million, $3.5 million, I'd be like, perfect, amazing, keep him.
Yeah.
$5 million, yeah. You need more than 2 goals in 33 games for that. On pace for like what, 5 goals or 6 goals in the year? That's not gonna cut it.
same way that takes him right now. No.
What?
Anybody that takes him right now or no?
I feel like maybe just
No,
given
teams would take
just
him.
given his play recently, how he's played.
Yeah. Maybe
How-
that little boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think like a team like
He definitely gives your team energy.
Yeah.
He's like a little pest
Like
in the offensive zone.
just me randomly connecting random dots here, but maybe like a team like Colorado, right? They need something going. I know they looked at
Would
Lynn.
they even be able to afford him at this point?
they would with the Tatar trade.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I heard they were looking at Lindholm, but like maybe like a guy like Garland, right? Because like we mentioned before, right? Like Taves calling out the roster. Maybe you bring in a guy like Garland who brings that energy, right, and kind of acts as that engine. Like right now, he's that engine on that third line, right? But maybe he goes in there, becomes the engine for the whole roster, and kind of gets those guys on the right page, and maybe that's something that gets them going, right? Maybe something to look at, right? Just all speculation, but
What I would try going for is like a team like Columbus. They've
But what are they going? What are they doing trading for guys like this one? They suck.
they gave Goudreau that huge contract. They have Line A.
Yeah, but they
They
gave
need to go
Goudreau
in.
that contract, thinking him and Laine would and Werenski
Yeah.
would get them at least into the playoffs.
But
they have
they need to do something about it.
even
Yeah.
Boone Jenner and like who else do they have? They have that one
I
guy.
go the 2 guys that I'd sort of target from there. One, I think, always been linked to the Canucks, Andrew Peak.
Yeah,
Defenseman, right-hand defenseman. They have a plethora of them. Another one, I don't think you guys have heard this guy. Dmitry Voronkov.
no.
Dmitry Voronkov. He's 6'5", 240-pound forward. He has 16 points in 27 games, playing 13 minutes a night
Wow.
in Columbus. That's a guy I would try to target. He plays a little rough.
they have Brendan Gaunce on their roster. That's wild.
His shooting percent is like 16%, so it's a little more towards the average.
How old is he?
Chinakov, I think I said that
He's
right.
23.
23. I think, honestly, that's a great point. Like, that's a guy that fits the system, fits that window moving forward.
Now, I don't know if they do it. Just
Well, do
because
you think they would trade? No, they wouldn't. No.
but hey, you got that first round pick in the back pocket.
I feel like a first for that guy would be too much.
You think so?
I think so. Obviously, that like on paper looks amazing, but I think a first is too much. I would hope
Think
that
they
it'd be.
trade Marchenko? He's an RFA.
But I feel like if the Canucks just keep going the cycle of okay, let's just keep getting expiring deals. What are we going to keep doing? We don't have infinite amount of
But
money.
half their rosters or half their forwards are RFAs this year.
I feel like you just gotta find a team that likes Garland a lot. Maybe even Arizona. If Arizona, would you try doing Garland plus a first and something maybe another asset for a guy like Lawson Krause?
Yeah. I do it. I think he fits that style that we're
I
kind
don't
of
know.
looking for.
Wait, you just said give up a first too?
Yeah.
Not for Lawson Krause.
Why not?
I just don't think he's worth it.
Who's worth it then? Who do you think you're gonna get for Garland in a first?
I'd rather get a defenseman first of all. Like
Yeah,
that's just me.
I
I'd
agree
rather
with
get a defenseman.
The
Bro,
topic's
go
about
get
what management
Provorov
wants.
from Columbus.
Provorov? They just got him there. They're not gonna trade him in less than a year.
It's happened before. Why not?
Yeah, but didn't he sign that major contract too? Did he? Did he not? Did he?
Well, he's at what? He's at
6.75 million.
Absolutely not. I do not want that.
He has 1 year left after this. My bad. But yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah, that's an easy pass. I wouldn't do that.
I don't think he's that bad of a defenseman.
I think he's that bad, but like
He's not
You can't-
6.75 good.
you can't expect
4.75.
6.75.
6.75. Yeah.
Right here it says 4.725.
You're blind. Provorov current deal.
I don't know. Unless
And
they're
he's a
retaining.
UFA in 26.
Oh, maybe we're looking at the wrong stuff.
Ivan Provorov.
Yeah.
You're looking at the wrong guy.
No chance.
6.750.
Then this is wrong.
What are you looking on?
Cap friendly.
I'm on Cap Friendly.
What are you tweaking about, man?
I don't know what you're on. You're on some weird shit.
Oh, whatever, man.
He's trying to mess with the numbers to get him over here.
Bro, man, look at my laptop. It says 4.725.
Hey, man.
Look at this. Look, right here.
Last time I checked, 4 didn't look like a 6. I mean, yeah, that's what he's showing up on over here. So
What's wrong?
Well, how do I know you're not wrong?
I know you're wrong.
I probably am wrong, but
Are you?
it's not my fault.
Are you sure? Okay, are you looking at the team Cap Friendly?
What do you mean?
Are you looking at like the team view? Or are you looking at him like
I
individual
have
player?
no, I'm
it's
looking
got
at the team view.
open. Team view.
Team view?
Yeah.
Let me see. You know what? Not important.
He's not coming. Don't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't think management focuses on a guy like that.
What about Philip Broberg? He requested a trade.
Yeah, but he's not really a difference maker, is he?
No.
Yeah, but he could be. He's still really young.
Who do you,
is all I'm saying.
Do you go after a guy that could be, or do you go after a guy that you know is?
But I don't see Edmonton being in a position where they're like, yeah, we'll take Connor Garland from you for Philip Broberg. It'd be more of, I'd say, Podkolzin.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, hey, we'll Podkolzin for Broberg.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I would not.
I wouldn't do that, no chance. But like Garland in like a third, I don't know, second, third.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. There's a lot to come still. It's exciting though. Like, see what management does. I think Alvin has something cooking on the low. It's just, I don't think we're gonna see it coming. I don't think it's gonna be something.
It's gonna come out of nowhere. That's 100%.
It's gonna, yeah, 100.
We know the only thing we know is he's always cooking,
always, and it's
which
been
is good. I like that.
yeah. It's like, well, we've been involved in like 7 of the 11 major trades or something.
Yeah.
Right? Which, when's the last time you've seen Vancouver that involved? It's like back, like from post 2011, like up until just this year, right? It's like Canucks make a trade, they'd be like, oh my god, we made a trade, right? And this year we're at the forefront of everything. So, I don't know. I think he's got a few more up his sleeve. Excited to see what happens. But, yeah. I'm going to turn the ringer off. But, yeah, to kind of wrap it up for today. Playoffs. Let's talk playoffs. What's your ideal first round matchup? But realistically on where we'll finish, right? Because who doesn't want Arizona and Nashville in the first round, right? But
my ideal would be we play like Dallas or something, but that's
No,
not happening.
I think we match up well against Dallas, but I don't know if I want him in the first round.
yeah, I don't think I'd want to be
Compared to the options that we have in the Pacific.
But I mean, like, you also don't want him in the third round.
I'd much rather take him in the third than in the first.
But I'd rather take Dallas.
I think I'd rather take him in the first round before they get their feet under them.
I'd rather take Dallas compared to LA or Vegas. That's for sure, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%.
LA is the team that scares me.
LA is just
LA scares me.
Vegas scares me.
Scary.
But I'm also living for that
Redemption.
Bubble
Redemption.
redemption. I feel like it'll just top off that Brock Besser story.
We're sitting right here watching it.
Yeah.
And Besser sadly missed that goal. Leonard.
Yeah, we don't talk
It makes
about
too much sense, right? Like, beautiful turnaround season. Besser scores in Game 7 situation.
Let's get it done in 4.
Optimistic.
Yeah,
I'd
who do you-
love to watch a 7.
Out of these teams that are out of the playoff like picture right now, like Edmonton, Minnesota, Seattle,
Edmonton's an interesting one. Do you think they come back?
Edmonton
do you think they have enough, or do you think
they're 7 points behind Arizona with 2 games in hand.
I mean, the comment about it makes not have much substance, but
Me personally, I think they're gonna end up
squeaking in?
right at the they're gonna come to it's gonna come to the last week of the season for them.
Yeah, I feel like they took too much of a hit early on.
oh
I
yeah,
think it's hard to come
Their
back.
first part of the season was so bad, but they've picked it up.
you got Connor McDavid, Right.
Exactly. You
That's
got
the thing.
Draisaitl and McDavid. You can do whatever you
Anything
want.
can happen, right? It's like, yeah, like mentioned, like horrible
Anything can happen
start.
except when you're playing the Canucks.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think
0-3.
Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota's gonna do anything. I don't think Seattle's gonna do anything.
No.
Maybe Calgary. They're right there too.
I don't know, man. I think Calgary, like, if they want to, they're gonna have to make a move. I don't think
But I
it
mean,
works for
they're
long term.
13, 14,
What
and
about
5.
St. Louis with that coaching change? They get that little coaching bump.
Yeah, they're 15,
Pushes them in.
15, and 1. They're 3 points behind Arizona, and they've played the same amount of games.
I see us finishing in that number 2 or number 3 Pacific spot. And whichever way it goes out, I feel like it's going to be a tough matchup.
I'm crazy. We're finishing first.
Yeah, you're a bit crazy.
Yeah, that's
LA
not
is the one team where I feel like with them having that center depth, you got Kopitar,
Yeah.
then you got Deneau, then you got, what's his name?
Byfield.
No, not Byfield.
He can play, though.
But he plays with Kopitar.
Yeah.
Third line, you have Dubois.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
that's
insane.
something else.
Insane.
And then you got guys like Kempe, the Canucks. We saw him quite well during his bubble run.
Yeah.
If we finish third or second in the conference, we play the team that's third or second.
Yeah, so the first in the division plays
Wild card.
one of the wild cards, and then 2 and 3 play against each other in each division.
Okay. And so either way, I think we're pretty much locked in LA right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's looking like. And
It seems really tough for anybody else to come up.
I think it's going to be a really good first round matchup.
We're so far ahead of everyone else in our division. It's actually crazy.
I was looking at this thing today. Like, Edmonton wants to, like, get on the same level as us. They need a 15-point
Yeah,
swing.
15 points.
I mean, 15 game swing, my bad.
Yeah.
15 in the remainder of the season, they need to win 15 more games, which is crazy. Because
It's not happening.
no way.
That's literally, I don't think it's ever happened. Like,
Yeah.
no way.
I think, I don't know if you guys seen this, the Canucks play Vegas and LA a lot in like that last month of the season. Just the way it turns out.
Yeah.
By then, the trade deadline will be done. Teams are going to have sort of their final roster.
Yeah.
I feel like those are going to be like mini playoff series
Yeah. 100%.
for all 3 of those teams before the playoffs start. And
Any playoff team.
I kind of
you play
don't
at
like that. I
point.
want to have that measuring stick against a team like LA, just see how we match up. Obviously, it's an 82-game season. There's a lot of changes that happen, but
They come late, though.
it's nice to see that. I'd hope that happens earlier. Schedule makers in the NHL suck. Anything good about the NHL is just the product. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but I hate the schedule. I hate the marketing in the NHL. It's
Marketing terrible.
The All-Star game has been terrible. I'm looking. That's one thing I want to talk to you guys about. The All-Star skills competition. What do you think about this year? They're having 12 players that are going to do. They got to pick like 4 activities or something, and they all play. They get points
It's
for
like
finishing
point
whatever
system and all that.
whichever position they end up. Whoever wins it at the end gets $1 million.
I think that's way more exciting than before.
Oh,
At least they have some sort of incentive.
Yeah.
And like it's like the NBA,
Yeah.
right?
But I'd still say I feel like the
Even
NHL,
MLB, like
it makes no sense. I don't think they should just restrict it just to All Stars. What it should be is like if you're
Just in
having
that, yeah.
fastest skater, have all the fastest skaters in the league. Have a guy like Mikheyev, McDavid, Barzell, whatever, Larkin. Have all those guys so you can actually see who the fastest skater is, not just some. Okay, here's the fastest skater out of the All Stars. Like with that, you have like, because a lot of those like say fastest skater ones, it might be a young guy. A young guy might want that money. He might be like, you know what? Let me get that money. Or hardest shot, accuracy, whatever.
just like the NBA. They
Dunk contest.
they let whoever is a good dunker come to the like Mac McClung.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't even play in the league anymore, and they invited him back again this year because he won last year, obviously. But like last year, he was in the G League. So
That's what makes the NBA marketing better compared to the NHL, where NHL last year we kind of saw what was happening, where they have, what was it? They're playing hockey on like the beach or something. Like they're hitting, they're hitting those targets. There's like Kachuk sitting on the.
that was really, really dumb. I thought.
Yeah, I agree. But okay, that was episode 1. We kind of went all over the place there, but
I just realized like we're way over the time, but
Wait, how long?
it's okay. It doesn't matter.
it don't matter.
Oh shoot!
But Yeah, that was episode 1. Kind of kept it all over the place, but think for next time we'll definitely be more
A little bit more
organized.
prepared. Yeah.
But
Kind of letting all our thoughts out
we're
there.
just letting it be vibes.
Yeah. And obviously you, the fans, leave it in the
Yeah, our
comments.
fans.
Fans.
We're huge. You guys are our
Yeah,
fans.
we're huge.
Biggest South
Shout out to
Asian
We're huge.
Canucks
Shout out to the
podcast.
3 or 4 supporters, man. Like,
But
I love
yeah,
it.
draw some ideas, some topics, right? To let us know what to talk about.
Trade proposals.
Yeah, trade
drop
proposals.
Them,
We
drop
love
them
those.
hot takes, man. That's all we want to see.
First in the West.
Silkman is the hot takes guy.
100%.
Gers is the just hater.
Yep.
And I'm somewhere in the middle.
This is Mr. Know-It-All over here. But anyways, thank you for tuning in for our first episode. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Nucks and pucks.
Nucks and Pucks.
Knocks and pucks. All right.
Shout out Tom Sestito.